Welcome to Bar Model Reasoning Part 5. You'll have another 4 problems to complete. Please remember that you should correct any mistakes that you make so that the paper you turn in to me is completely correct. You don't have to erase what you did. Sometimes that gets too messy. You could just put the corrected solution on a separate sheet of paper and turn it in with the rest of your homework. All right, some of these are tricky, but you're great thinkers, so off you go. Okay, when I read this problem, I realize we've got 3 albums, and we're trying to find out how much is in each album. So I have album number 1, album number 2, and album number 3. Then to find out who has the smallest amount, I'll go check. First album had 180 more, so it's not that one. The second album has twice as many as the third, so the third album has the smallest amount. Okay, now let's go back and draw it sentence by sentence. 485 stamps were into 3 albums, so there's 485 stamps in all. The first album has 180 more stamps than the second. Well, I don't have a representation for the second album, so I can't draw that yet. Let's go find that out first. The second album has twice as many stamps as the third. So the third album has this much, but the second album has twice as many. All right, now we can go do the first album. The first album has the same amount as the second album. I'm going to put in the division there too, the dividing line. But it has 180 more than the second album. And I want to find out how many stamps are there in the third album. All right, when I look at this problem, I notice that I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 equal parts if I could get rid of that 180. So I will do that. 480, take away that 180. Oops, oops, oops. Alright, that would be 5, 0, 10s, and 300s. So now there's 305 in these 5 equal parts. So I'm going to split 305 into 5 equal parts. Now, my largest place value in the dividend is in the hundreds, but I can't have 100 group of 5. That would be 500, and that's too big. I don't have that many stamps. So I could do 10 groups of 5. That's only 50, and that's really small. I know that 5 times 6 is that 30. So if I do 60 times 5, and 5 times 6 is that 30 tens, that gives me that 300. And I have 5 left over to still put in a group, and of course that's only one group of 5. So I have 61 groups of 5 in each of those equal boxes. And that answers my question. How many stamps are in the third album? 61. Well, that was easy. Wow, when I read this problem, it's very long. I think it's going to take all those good reading strategies we've been working on with Mrs. Best. Don't let this problem intimidate you. You've been solving problems similar to this. It's a little bit similar to the problem you just solved a minute ago. Be patient and take it part by part. Good luck. Stop the tape. Do your answer, and then when you're ready to check your solution and correct your solutions, restart the tape. Okay, this problem just takes a little perseverance, but once you get it drawn, it can't be that difficult to solve. So let's find out what's involved. There are 5 numbers. So I have number 1, number 2, number 3, number 4, and number 5. Now when I try to go find which one is the smallest, I see the second number is 88 more, than the first. The third number is 20 more than the second. The fourth number is 45 less than the third, and the fifth number is 2 less than the fourth. So I think the first number is going to be my smallest amount. I'm going to try that and see how it works out. So we get the first number, the box. And now we go draw it sentence by sentence. The sum of 5 numbers is 500. So when I add all of this together, I should get 500. Altogether, the 5 numbers equal 500. The second number is 88 more than the first number. So it's got the same amount as the first number, but it's got 88 more. The third number is 20 more than the second number. So I've got to draw what is in the second number, except I need 20 more. And I know that inside this big box is an 88. The fourth number is 45 less than the third number. So I've got this 88 in that third number. I think I'll go change that 88 and make it 45 less. So that means that's 43. So we have the same as number 1 plus 43 instead of 88. And then of course we have the 20. And then it says if the fifth number is 2 less than the fourth. So I'm going to take 2 less than that 43, and of course that's 41. So I'll draw it with the same amount as number 1. Then we have our 41, and then of course there's the 20 also. Alright, and we want to know what is this third number. Okay, I've got quite a lot of takeaways to do in order to get to my 5 equal boxes. So let's just get started. I notice first of all that I've got 2 88s. So 2 times 88. It's 176. And then I have 3 groups of 20 right here. Right there, right there, right there. So I know that 3 groups of 20, of course, is 60. That's easy. And then I've got a 43 and a 41. A 43 and a 41 would be 84. So now I have to add those 3 numbers up. So I'm going to add the 176, the 60, and the 84. Alright, so that is equal to 320. So if I took away all of these extra numbers in all together, that these 5 boxes equal 320. So if I split that 320 into 5 equal boxes. I think it's the night for 5s too, isn't it? And this is close to what I did a few minutes ago. So this would be 60 groups of 5, and of course that's 300. I end up with 20 left. I know my multiplication table, so that's 4 times 5. And 60 plus 4 would be 64. So there's 64 in each of the little boxes, but I've got to know what is in number 3, what it's made of. So I'm going to do 64 plus 88 plus 20. And that's 12. Put it over to the tens. 7 tens and 8 tens is 15 tens, 16, 17 tens, 172. So inside of box 3, or the number, sorry, the number that is the third number is 172. Woo! Complicated but doable. Good job. Okay, here is question number 3. Looks like we're keeping a total of points for grades in English, math, and science. All right, off you go. Stop the tape while you do your work and then restart it to check your answer and get the correct answer on your paper. Okay, as I look at this problem, I see that we're keeping track of English. I'm going to abbreviate mathematics scores and, of course, science scores. Trying to figure out which one has the smallest number. I see that she scored 92 more points in mathematics and 11 more points in English than in science. So it sounds like science is her weaker subject and has the smallest number of points earned in it. All right, let's go up and do it sentence by sentence. Natalie scored a total of 253. So in all, she's got 253 points. She scored 92 more points in math. So I'm going to give math the same amount as science, but 92 more. And 11 more points in English than science. So I will give English the same amount as science with an additional 11. Okay, so I see that I have 3 equal boxes. If I could get rid of those odd amounts, so I'm going to add 11 plus 92. It's 103, and I'm going to take away that 103. Take away the 103 from the 253. Of course, that leaves 150. So now I'm going to split 103 into 3 equal parts. I know that 3 times 5 is 15, so that would be the 15 tens. So I'm going to start with 5 groups of 50 groups of 3. And that's the 150. So it would be 50 groups of 3. So there's 50 in the smaller boxes. So Natalie, my friend, scored, oops, I forgot to do my question mark. Natalie scored 50 points in science. All right. Okay, good job on that last one. All right, now we're going to keep track of more stamps. These children sure do like to save stamps, and they sure do have a lot of those stamps because Anna has 2,184 more than David. All right, off you go. Draw a representation of this problem, and then when you're doing your work, stop the video, restart it when you're ready to see the solution, and correct any errors you might have made. Okay, I see that we have 3 people and we are keeping track of their stamps. So we have Anna's stamps and we have David's and then good old Kevin. Now let's see if we can go figure out who has the smallest amount. Well, it says Anna has more than David and Kevin has more than David, so I guess David has the smallest amount. So we'll give David the box. Go back and do this sentence by sentence. Anna has 2,184 more stamps than David. So Anna has the same amount as David has. And she has 2,184 more. Now, when I look at that sentence, it says she has twice as many stamps as David. So if David has this amount, then Anna has twice as many. So that means that there's 2,184 in each one of those boxes. Now let's go check out Kevin. Kevin has 278 more stamps than David. So we'll give Kevin this box, which we just discovered has 2,184 in it, but he's got 278 more than that. Now, how many stamps does Kevin have? So we want to know how many he has altogether. Okay. So I know, I've discovered that because of this Anna having twice as many, that there's 2,184 in each box. So that means there's 2,184 in this box. And I just need to add 2,184 and the 278 to find out what Kevin has in all. So altogether, Kevin has 2,462 stamps. All right, great job. You've completed video 4. Pat yourself on the back and take a nice break. We'll see you at school.